Let's go to the UK now and Leave leader John Mills, who joins us on all of this. And boy, Isabel, thank you, sir, by the way, for coming on. We very much appreciate it. And one of the things we've talked a lot about in our coverage of this from a financial market perspective is how much of a surprise this ended up being to the betting markets, to the polls, to everybody who was looking at it. Why do you think that happened?
5 minutes, and it's directly with Neil, yeah?
Well, I think it was a bit of a surprise for everybody, and I think the big surprise was the extent to which working people, particularly in the north of England, moved over from being in favour of Remain to being in favour of Brexit. And I think that there was a lot of anger about a number of things, about the cost of the European Union, about immigration, about the way the European Union's going, high levels of unemployment, particularly in Greece and Spain. And Italy not doing very well, and perhaps more than anything else, a move towards a super-state in Europe, a kind of United States of Europe, which is really not what not only people in this country don't want, but a lot of people in the rest of Europe don't want either. So I think we had, with Brexit, something of a very special event which triggered off changes which are going to reverberate round and see quite a big alteration in the way the world runs over the next, particularly Europe, over the next year or two.
And even here, we're having, as you know, the same, as we've already talked about it, same conversation in our own election about some of those issues. And you're right to point out that it's working class people. That's what's driving it here in many cases, too. That here they're upset, say, that factory jobs have gone to other countries and they're unable to get the same type of position that they had before. Some of them are upset about immigration as well. But what's driving the anger the most there? Is it the same type of thing, or is this really a big-time story about immigration?
Well, I think that's right, and I don't think the immigration issue in the UK has been a racist one at all. I think it's been driven by two factors. One is that our population here is growing very rapidly by about 550,000 people a year, and that's putting enormous pressure on roads and schools and hospitals and housing. And the second thing is that having a large number of people coming through, particularly from Eastern Europe, where the wage levels are very low, competing with our people at the lower end of the employment market, has been a very tough call for a lot of people in this country. And I think it's these two things coming together which have made immigration such a key issue.
Let me ask you one more question, sir. My colleague here, Deirdre Bolton, just pointed out that this will take a lot of time, right? Some people say it takes up to 2 years to work itself out as the negotiations begin between the EU and the UK. What will your country look like, just big picture view, you know, say 3 to 5 years from now? How will it fundamentally have changed from what we see right now?
Well, I think a lot depends on the kind of policies that are implemented. And I think that there is a risk that what will happen is that the UK will go down the protectionist route, which I don't personally think is the right way to go. I think what we need to do is to face outwards. We need to trade with the European Union, if necessary, over their tariff barriers, which aren't that high anyway. We need to go out and trade with all the rest of the world as well. And I think if we do that and bring tariffs down, maybe have our currency a little bit lower as well to compensate for that, then there's a very good chance that we'll have higher rates of economic growth outside the European Union than we would if we'd stayed in.
Interesting. And one of our issues will be our currency, the dollar, moving higher, which could be actually a negative for many American companies. Thank you, sir. John Mills is the UK Labour Leave chairman there.